afternoon, fellow Americans, and welcome back to tonight's news.
On this date, May 12, 1796, breaking stories come to us as our former allies from the War of Independence, the French, are launching an aggressive campaign against American shipping, capturing hundreds of vessels carrying our flag. Follow up after this commercial as we go deeper in what some call the XYZ Affair. Welcome back as we discuss the issue with the U.S. and the French. They claim that we are tilting back to our foe, the British, through the John Jay Treaty. Many are saying that this treaty is allowing British to seize our goods bound to France on their ships if they're able to pay. France retails by capturing our ships. The real question is, why would we turn our back to those who led us to victory in the past war? It becomes apparent that it is very necessary to act upon this agreement with the British.
As we attempt to slowly strengthen our roots, a struggle is increasing in our nation on our ability to trade and naval power. The British exports still flood our markets, and our exports are being blocked by the trade restrictions and tariffs. As they occupy a fort in the north, and their impressment on our sailors and seizure of naval and military supplies, we are on the brink of another war.
And whether or not this settlement should have happened intensifies. We, the people, are left unknowing what government will do next. What will be John Adams' next move?
John Adams decided to dispatch 3 ministers to France in 1797 to negotiate a commercial agreement to protect U.S. shipping and to avoid an overall war. Albridge Gerry, John Marshall, and Charles Pinckney to try and negotiate with the French Foreign Minister Talleyrand, but instead they were met with 3 French diplomats, X, Y, and Z. Let's see what happens next in the negotiation. Now over to Olivia, who is at the scene in France.
Breaking news. I'm here in France with 3 French diplomats here talking with 3 American representatives. So I just got word that we got film of actual battleships being captured by the British. Let's take a look. Wow, that was intense. So John Adams decided to send 3 American representatives to go talk with 3 French diplomats, X, Y, and Z, and to even talk, they wanted to talk to Talleyrand, and to even talk to him, the French requested that he pay $250,000. Overall, the French decided to request for $15 million more, which outraged John Adams and the rest of the American representatives. Now back to Britain Day for more.
Interesting negotiation, don't you think?
Yes, it was. Then let's go over what happens next.
This affair has caused Americans to unite over their distrust from the French. As a result of the Department of Navy being created, the Navy was strengthened and the U.S. Marine Corps was established. That ignited American anti-French sentiment, which led to constitutional rights of freedom of speech and a free press and rights of the foreigners, which was a big step in our nation.
We have a couple of guests here tonight. Let's bring them out. The President of the United States of America, John Adams.
Hello, I am John Adams.
So why did you feel the need to send your representatives over to meet the French Minister Talleyrand?
I was outraged because the British were deciding to capture our ships and impress all of our sailors.
I see. Did you ever think to just leave it alone?
I did, but ultimately that was not the right choice for America. I feel like this entire event gained a lot of respect for our new American nation.
Okay, thank you for coming on to the show today, John Adams.
Thank you.
Now, let's bring out the French Minister, Charles Talleyrand. Hello.
Bonjour, je suis Charles Talleyrand.
How do you feel about the Americans meeting you in France?
J'étais peu enchanté les Américains pour avoir un accord de plusieurs conditions deviant être emploi.
Good. Do you have anything to say to Mr. Adams specifically?
Non pas un seul mot.
Although the Americans avoided complete war with the French, people do still call it the quasi-war, which was a half-war, meaning that it was still a war undeclared, but there was no bloodshed. As a result of all of this madness, the U.S. and French negotiators restored the peace at the Convention of 1800 with the Treaty of Mortefontaine.
Well, that wraps up everything for tonight.
I hope you all enjoyed our segment today.
And we will see you tomorrow at 7.